Hello everyone, we're GG It's D&D, my name is Noah, and I'm the Dungeon Master for Tales of Aeradella. Unfortunately, due to some scheduling conflicts, we couldn't hold a session this week, so instead we're bringing you some character introductions and some other information about our game. Basically, a belated session 0, if you would. Hopefully this lets you all learn a little bit more about our characters and what their backgrounds are, so you can see where they came from and how they grow. So, without further ado, the cast.
Hello, my name is Anya Kotov. It's really nice to meet you. I'm a fighter genasi, battlesmith artificer from Port Sunvane, and not to brag or anything, but I'm pretty good at inventing. Even better than the stupid Eden Association. Oh wait, did you want to see any of my inventions? Oh, we don't have time for that? Well, until next time, see ya, and Adin says goodbye and he loves you too.
Hey, Oliver here. I'm a swashbuckler rogue. I'm a variant human, which it's an interesting story because that's because both my parents were both half elves, and I came out as like the human half of both. So yeah, I'm from Port Sunvane, and I absolutely love long moonlit walks on the beach, making explosives with my spider pal Dolly in my shirt. Other than that, I like doing hero work for the city and helping anyone I can.
Hi, I'm Felix. I'm a Horizon Walker Ranger from Wilden. Elf, obviously. And currently I'm just working with the Ethereal Maw and their 5th company in particular, so that involves hunting down any undead that we find with extreme prejudice, no mercy, exterminate them all.
Hi, I'm Nami Bawi, a tiefling trickster cleric, and I'm from Wingard. I am on a religious adventure under the goddess of Andra. Also, I love rocks. That's how I do it, right? That's it? Oh, is it still going? How do I stop it?
Now that you know a little bit about our characters, let's talk about the game system they exist in. For the most part, we follow the standard D&D 5th edition rules, but we added a few homebrew rules to spice up our own game. First up, critical hits. For crits, I have both my players and monsters roll normal damage, but add a bonus equal to the maximum damage the dice could have rolled. For example, if an attack were to deal 2d8 plus 2 damage, I would have them roll 2d8 plus 2 plus an additional 16 from the crit. This removes the possibility of rolling low and having a critical hit that deals less than a normal attack. It's also important to note that this does not increase the maximum damage a crit can do. Instead, it forces crits to be in a range somewhere between maximum damage of a normal attack and double my maximum damage. Next up, potions. I let my players drink a healing potion as a bonus action. This is a common one since no one likes to waste an action to chug mid-fight, but I like to take it one step further. I let my players choose if they want to spend an action or a bonus action. If they use a bonus action, the potion functions as normal. But if they use an action, the potion instead heals them for the maximum possible healing it can do. This lets my players heal quickly in battle when needed, while also encouraging them to save their potions for after battle when they can be the most effective. Third on the list, damage types. When a player of mine takes a new spell or gains a new ability, I allow them to change the damage type of that spell or ability so long as they have a valid reason and they don't upgrade their damage type. For example, if a player of mine wanted to play an Ice Wizard, but doesn't want to miss out on the amazing AoE damage of Fireball, I'd let them change it up to a Frostball or something similar. This allows them to play their character true to how they intended, without having to sacrifice their character's viability. And when I say they're not allowed to upgrade their damage, I follow this damage type hierarchy. Force and Psychic at the top, Necrotic and Radiant just below, the elemental damages under them, and finally at the bottom, the physical damages. They can change the damage type of a spell or ability to anything on the same level or lower, but never higher, as it could lead to balance issues. Also, they can only choose to take this change when they gain the spell or ability. Once they choose a damage type, they're stuck with it. And finally, Resurrection rules. I think Resurrection in D&D is a little too forgiving, so I use some rules to add a little extra intensity to death. These rules don't apply to True Resurrection, the 9th tier spell, since I think using that powerful of magic is a big enough cost to revive a player with no strings attached. For Revivify, a character's first resurrection goes unchanged. But for every Revivify after your first, the caster is required to make an ability check using their spellcasting modifier. The DC is equal to 5 plus 1 for each previous successful resurrection. This isn't a terribly high DC, but it removes the guarantee that you'll be brought back to life after a fight with no issues. For Raise Dead and Resurrection, I use Matt Mercer's Resurrection Ritual. Once the spell has been cast, 3 party members can make a skill check to aid in the ritual. Once the ritual completes, the caster makes a single d20 roll with no modifiers. The DC for this roll starts at 10 plus 1 for each time the character has been revived before. The DC is then lowered by 3 for each successful skill check made by an assisting party member, But if they fail their skill check, the DC is instead increased by 1. And there you go. Now you know everything you need to about our characters and system to follow along at home. Unfortunately, this most likely won't be the last time sessions get postponed, so if you want to stay updated, make sure you follow us on Twitter. Anyways, thank you for watching, and be sure to come back next Friday to catch the next episode of Tales of Aeradella. Until then, goodbye.